Howdy, folks. Today, just a chill kind of chatty episode while I do some fishing here in Russian Fishing 4. Didn't really know what else to record, and since I can pretty much do what I want, this is what I felt like doing, because I was playing this all weekend, kind of jumping back and forth between this and MTG Arena. And yeah, I didn't really have too much. I did, however, while I was at work last night, have a bit of an idea, and I don't know exactly where it came from. Maybe it was just thoughts coalescing from different sources of inspiration. But I wanted, like, the idea came for, like, a story to, like, write something. I am not a writer by any means, but I do occasionally like writing stuff, and it never goes anywhere. But, you know, it occasionally feels nice to, like, get an idea onto paper or whatever. And it was kind of like, I don't even know precisely, but something about a person making some sort of contract or being possessed by some, like, extra planner being, specifics to be determined, and basically like a whole warlock story where the being tries to tempt the person into asking for more and more power and letting the being get their hooks deeper and deeper into, I mean, I say like kind of like a warlock because I guess that's how the idea works in like D&D, and I don't have a better name to put on it yet as like a shorthand. But yeah, I kind of got inspired by, man, there is nothing, by a one post by what's their name? I think it's like Based Binky. I really like their art and their comic. I haven't read through their comic, but I like what I've seen of it. Let me see if I can. Is that caught on the ground or is that caught in a fish? That's caught on the ground. Darn it. Let me see. Likes. It is. Oh, you're going to be around here somewhere. I know I liked the stuff that I looked at. Nope, still just drifting. Yeah, Based Binky. There we go. What's his at? Yeah, at Based Binky. I think partially seeing one of his, or their, I don't know if it's a guy or not, one of their posts of like a knight kind of like giving in to this witch or ghost, demon, something. Actually, I don't have to guess that much because there is the post right there. of like the background info for the character. If I can, there we go. What is this character? Hope. Hope rules over the seas and the abyssal depths beneath. Hope is an unfamiliar deity. All right. So yeah, something like some hidden god or something, like some being kind of like that, that either like possesses the quote unquote main character or kind of forces them into a contract, something like that. That idea sounds kind of interesting to develop, but one aspect of it that I did kind of develop as I was typing this out to share with my friend was that I found it kind of interesting if the being that kind of the contract is made with, if they're like not actually all that powerful or something, and like they just want to make the contract because they're so lonely, they're in like whatever realm they are master of. So like they don't actually want to like damn the soul of the person making the contract with them or anything. They just like want a friend and partner. So it could be like part of the idea was that like the person who we'll just say like the MC like randomly stumbles upon like a single document that kind of lets them accidentally summon this deity, and it's like the first time they've ever been summoned. So they're like all excited and whatnot that it's like, oh, some finally a follower or something along those lines. So like that part's kind of cute. So like as time goes on, the being just kind of wants to. Why the hell was it floating like that? That was weird. The being just kind of like wants to make it more sure and sure that the MC like can't abandon them or leave them ever. So the reason they tempt the MC more and more is, you know, to basically reach that end. So I don't have any more like crazy specifics on it or anything, but that was kind of the gist of it. I think partially also for inspirations for the idea were kind of like Rooney Ruse's lore of a priestess of some sort that seems to accidentally stumble on a scroll. Because that's the thing, is that the lore says she's evil, right? But if you watch like the video for Forbidden, it seems more like she's just possessed. And, you know, any actions are not actually her, but rather whatever force was in that scroll that she activated, I guess, for lack of a better word. So like that idea is kind of neat, where it's not actually a contract. It's maybe like an unsealing of a being or a possession. Ooh, this is a big one. Oh, not that big. Decent size though. So yeah, I like that idea of for how the being and the MC come to be together. And then I guess a third source of inspiration, kind of, sort of, is the music video from, what is her name? Muna Hoshinova from Hollow ID. Her High Tide video, I really like it's just a really excellent music video. It all works together extremely well. But I I haven't sat down and thoroughly examined it all, but I watched it more than a few times while at work, bits and pieces. And yeah, I really like what seems to be kind of like the story of it, of character encountering, or maybe something happened to them, and while they're in some other plane or universe or something like that, then they come into conflict with some other force, and some being comes in to help them beat that other force by channeling themselves through the character. And then when the character kind of reaches their limit fighting this other force, then the being that was initially helping kind of comes in and takes over in a way. So maybe before that, it was just the being lending its power to the character. And then after that, it's more of a full-on possession kind of deal. So that's an interesting concept. So I don't know which one of those I like the most for this story idea of mine that probably won't go anywhere, because even if I did end up writing something, which I might do, I might listen back to this and then maybe try one of those writing videos that I think I said I wanted to do, but I haven't actually done. I did a test recording for one, but it was more of an ASMR sort of deal. But my microphone is way too crap to do actual any sort of ASMR recording. But I could just set up my hand cam sort of setup and just write with some of my pretty inks and probably my glass pen, because that one writes nice and big and fairly smooth. Drat, I hate it when I miss them like that. Because I do have a fair bit of different nibs that can go in a holder. Well, I actually have a couple of holders. But mainly only one that I actually like using. But yeah, a lot of those write really thin, so I don't know how well they would show up on camera, especially if I'm not using a really dark ink. New available ability, fishing. Oh, okay. Cool. Let's take a look at that. Skills. Float fishing. I think we're going to have to go back to the store to check that out. And I don't feel like doing that yet, because there's still fish to catch. I haven't caught anything near good enough to turn in for any of those cafe orders. In case you're new, and to Russian Fishing 4, and I've never played it. I don't fully grasp it. I don't remember how many hours exactly I have in the game. Not many, but I know next to nothing about it. I just like throwing worms on hooks and hoping I catch something. This is the most advanced that I've been so far, where I have a maggot on a tiny hook so that I can catch different fish from what I usually catch, which are like 2 different kinds of carp and perch. But yeah, I guess the whole point of the game is, well, A, just to go fishing, but the main way to make money is to fulfill cafe orders, because you can take, like, for as an example, like 5 Crucian carp, which if you were to just sell them at the fish market might sell for like 3 to 5 cents a piece. Here, cents being portions of silver, because I guess that's like the main currency. So like you could sell those like 5 Crucian carp for a grand total of like 0.15 silver. But if there's a cafe order for them and your carp are the right size to fulfill that order, you could sell those carp for like 6 to 8 silver by fulfilling that order. So that's kind of the main goal. And that's why I checked the cafe there at the start before walking down here, to get an idea of what sort of fish I would need to catch to fulfill the orders. And then you keep on building up your skill percentage in different fishing techniques. So right now I'm float fishing with I think this is a telescopic rod. But if I so desired, I can switch over to, well, after that lag spike, I can switch over to like my casting setup, where this one, there's a spoon with a hook on it, and the spoon just kind of, oh, cool, spins and shakes around, making a bunch of noise and movement that attracts the fish. And it's mostly predators or predatory sort of fish that would go after a rig like this. Yeah, it's like however you want to go fishing, there's something for you here. But right now, kind of the fish that I'm targeting are mostly being caught with, oh nice, with the float fishing setup. So we're going to go back over to that. Although that was kind of nice, catching 2 fish in a row with 2 casts on the spin casting setup. So maybe I'll switch back over to that. Drat. But yeah, so that was kind of what I was thinking there. Oh, that's what I was saying. So I could definitely see myself writing out maybe like some scenes, like basically what I just described of, well, I guess, yeah, just like a couple of different scenes I could see myself writing out so that they're like on paper, not just floating around in my head in ethereal form. But even though I can do that, I have never been able to piece together all the scenes that I might come up with for different characters. Not that I've ever developed characters so much that I have tons of scenes involving them. But yeah, I always get so, I guess, caught up in the details that I can never string scenes together because, well, like I said, I get way too deep into the details. And then also, I just kind of like lose focus of what I wanted to do. Especially if I am in a certain mindset and then the stories start to take on a much more niche tone, we'll say, that yeah, just wouldn't be very, what's the word? I don't know, shareable, I guess I'll say. I guess not that I have to share it. Oh, that's a nice fish. Look at that nose. Maybe I should, though, just kind of like write out some of these ideas and just kind of let it go wherever. Maybe that's what I have to do. Maybe I have to get this idea that keeps on blocking all other ideas out. And once I get that out and on paper and out of my brain, then that'll like clear up the log jam, so to speak, of ideas. Maybe IDK. Just a thonk, as some might say, some being me. But yeah, I don't know what else I really wanted to share. I did watch a video last night on, like, unrelated to, well, I guess partially unrelated to the whole idea of, like, beings making contracts with other beings and whatnot. But it was on, like, this deck for Magic, and it was what was it called? Rakdos, which I guess is like black and red. It was a black and red deck that I kind of liked the vibe of it. Like, it's a bit trolly in a way, in that it kind of punishes your opponent for doing anything. Like, there's a card in there where they lose 2 life every time they draw a card. There's a card in there that punishes everyone, not just your opponent, but everyone, for casting like non-creature spells. There's cards in there that deal damage when you play a land, when you play a lizard, when you attack. So it's very chip damagey, and that's kind of neat. And the guy that was showcasing it seemed to have a really good win record with it, because it was just such a fast and aggressive deck, which I do tend to like. And then also too, I know I showcased that like blue deck that I made that, you know, is kind of like as unblue as possible with the cards I had on hand. But I think that deck is like kind of so niche or something that the matchmaking for it is kind of like broken. Probably also not helped by the time that I try to play, where there's probably not many people in the queues to begin with. And then when I'm trying to be funny with the matchmaking on top of that, I think I end up getting matched against people that my deck really has no business going up against, or it just takes like quite a while to find a match. And then sometimes even after I do find a match, and I don't know, some people are just weird. I don't know if, because like I've had some instances where like a person quits after like I've played one card and it's not even like a scary card. So it's just kind of like disappointing that, oh, I literally spent as much time in this match as I did waiting for it because my opponent just quit that quickly. And then it's not even that I really care about like the win or the loss. With some of these matchups, I just want to make progress on my dailies, man. That's literally all I want. But then like my opponent will just like quit so quickly that I don't even get a chance to do that, you know? You know what I'm saying? God, I was watching, not as I say that, I was watching a clip of Kanade talking about her her tips to sound more fluent in English. This is, oh, what's her name? Her last name? Well, Kanade from Regloss, Hololive Regloss. But yeah, she was saying if you add like man or you know what I'm saying onto the end of your sentences, then you can make yourself seem a lot more fluent in English than someone would expect. It was just so funny listening to that one. Because on the one hand, she is right. You know, if you start adding in either mannerisms or to an extent like slang, or I forget what she called them specifically, but if you add in stuff like that, you sound a lot less formal, so you sound a lot more comfortable with the language, be that English or any other language. I'm assuming it carries over to the other languages as well. But yeah, it was just too funny though. I forget the other thing that she added in as a sentence enhancer. It was like, man, you know what I'm saying? And there was like one or two other things, but I can't remember them off the top of my head right now. But yeah, I got a kick out of that one. This gets a lot shallower right here, like where I can reach currently, than it does like farther out. You know what? I am going to switch back over to the spinning setup, because I was actually catching stuff with that. Now watch, there's not going to be literally anything else over in here now. Oh, there we go. Never mind. Nice. Let's move over closer to this. Although I do have to be careful as I because I have lost so many lures with this setup with it getting caught in like grass and whatnot, like what's next to me there. It's so annoying, especially when I've like just bought a brand new lure and after only a few casts, oh, there we go, it got snagged and I can't unsnag it and I have to cut the line. Oh, it's so frustrating. And it's like one thing if you caught, if I catch, you know, like a nice fish or a few nice fishes and, you know, I'm able to like make back what I spent on the lure. But I think the last few lures that I've bought, I have not managed to do that. I lose them before I earn what I spent on it. So then I just get salty and then I go back to either float fishing or bottom fishing, which I haven't shown that setup yet, which I probably could do. Because that's often what I do, is I'll have my bottom rig going, which, as the name suggests, has a weight and some bait, and it sits on the bottom, and there's a little bell on the end of the line, or on the end of the rod here, that starts to jingle when there's something tugging on the line. So it's not a perfect way of telling that there's a fish on, because it's only going to start to jingle if the fish pulls away or pulls to the side. But if the fish like takes my bait and then starts swimming towards me, it's just going to make the line slack, so it's not going to ring the bell. So I do have to kind of try and have either the line or the pole itself in view so that I can see still if, you know, the line is moving or whatever. And the nice thing is that I don't have to worry about my lines tangling together like in real life. You know, in fact, like I can just take this rod and pass it right through my other one, which is really, really handy, to being honest. Yeah. That's pretty much this game. Just chillaxing, eating occasionally. Although I do find it kind of funny that even though I can catch all these fish, I can't actually cook any of them. I can only cook certain ones, and I never catch the ones that can be cooked in the correct size for them to be cooked. But, you know, it's whatever. You don't actually have to really eat that much, because it's not like you're going to die or anything. If your, like, hunger meter runs out. Oh, there we go. See, so, like, there, the line is moving, but no bell. I do want to let it go, though. See if the bell goes. Yeah, so pretty much like that. And then I can pick up the rod and start reeling in the fish. And I have heard from this one video that I was watching that a fish won't... Oh my god, how tiny is that thing? What the... Oh, man. Feesh. That's disappointing. But I heard that, like, supposedly when a fish... Ooh, that was long. When a fish gets on the bottom rig hook, like that, it won't come off no matter like how long you let it jingle jangle. I don't know if that's true though, and damn, that was quite the hit. Jesus, that's aggressive. That better be a big fish. All right, let's hurry up. Oh, and we caught a fish as we tried to hurry up, bring that in. All right. Bring that. Let's see what we got. Oh, it's something okay sized. I mean, it's bigger than whatever the last thing was, that's for sure. Definitely not huge, though. We're just kind of pulling it in. It's not actually putting up a fight or anything. Which is a little disappointing, you know, with how hard it was hitting. Oh, yeah, that's a decent size. I don't think it's actually big or anything, but... yeah. But anyways, I think that about covers what I wanted to cover today. Let's go back and see if I did... well, how many fish do we have? Who knows? There might be something we can fill. If not, we'll just sell the fish. Oh, yeah, and then also we have to check on that new rod type ion locked. But yeah, I just kind of felt like yapping, really. And I didn't feel like doing it to Sparkov or MTG. I mean, I kind of thought of maybe doing MTG, but there I actually have to like think sometimes. So here, it doesn't take much thought to throw out my line and hope to catch something. And even once I do catch something, it's not that distracting. Let's see. Well, we didn't catch that many perch. We only caught 3, and we needed 5. We didn't catch that many gudgeon. We didn't catch any mussels. I think we only caught 1 bleak. And no white bream that fit that. We did catch bream, but definitely none that were that big. And we didn't catch any tench that were that big. So we can't fulfill any of those. So we'll just come over here. Yeah, and you see like here, this common roach, or these common roaches, you know, are only for like 0.03 of a silver. And then this tiny little bleak over here is like 1 silver. So I don't really see... wait. Oh, this NAS is our big ticket item. It's 6.5 silver. Yeah, because I was like going and seeing there, it's like, holy, how are we getting 10.5 silver for this? But yeah, I guess when 1 fish is getting you 6.5, another one, 1.5. So that's our 8 right there. No. Yeah. Yeah. Then, oh yeah, and then 1 there. Yeah. But yeah, that was all I wanted to really do there. I might keep on playing. I might go over and play. Excuse me. Or I might go and play some MTG, because I tried to do a match before recording this. And I had a not great hand to start out with, and then I drew like 3 of my lands that like do 1 damage when I play them. Like 3 of those in a row. It was kind of ridiculous. And then when I finally did draw something that I could play, by that point I had enough mana to like play like something bigger. And as soon as my opponent saw that, and it wasn't anything big, it was like this dinosaur. It was like a 3/4 or a 4/3. And it looked like he was going to be like aggro goblins or something like that. But yeah, he just quit immediately as soon as I played that dinosaur. So it's like, oh, okay. Well, whatever. I'll go play Russian fishing while I record and ramble on. But anyways, let's see. If you guys have any input on writing ideas or the idea in general that I kind of laid out, or any ideas that you guys have, I'd like to hear those. But yeah, I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye.